certainly the numbers that come out of these places, how much money people make, can be staggering.
Yeah, my assistant, who's pretty junior, she makes a little bit more than my brother does. My brother's a cardiac anesthesiologist. My assistant is 3 years out of college and likes to drink beer.
You had a bunch of young kids making more money than they knew what to do with, and they found things to do with it.
Such as?
You know, I mean, anything that you can think of that you could abuse yourself with, that was part of the lifestyle. There were 5 guys that rented a bus to take them to Michigan golfing. They hired a couple girls to go on the bus with them. And by the time it wasn't me. I want that out.
My primary over-the-counter customer base was made up of traders. They're fun guys. They're just fun to be around, and they're also, they're nuts. They're crazy. I had a customer who, I rang him up and it was $172. He said, what kind of number is that, $172? Make it 100 or 200, one or two. I said, well, which should I make it? And he said, I don't know, let's flip the coin. So I flipped a coin, he called it, he lost $200. We did this. Every time he came in, for 3 years, he never won. We had customers flipping coins. He wanted to inspect coins. He never won. Every time, it was like 2 or 3. I'd just say, what do you want to make the spread? He would do that. He never won. Every time he would overpay, he'd take the money out of his pocket, slam it on the counter, and leave. Loved the game. Loved the game.
Joey called me and said he wanted me to deliver some cigars over to the pit and that he'd meet me there. And he told me to bring 100. So I went over there and he met me and brought me onto the floor. And I knew a lot of the guys because I was doing business with them. Some guys across the pit were like going like this to me. And so Joe said, they want a cigar. Throw a cigar to them. So I reach in the box and I throw a cigar across the pit, and the guys are reaching up and grabbing the cigars. So I threw them everywhere. I was just throwing cigars all the way across the pit. And whoever it is that's responsible for security in the pit or whatever it is came up to me. And as he approached me, he said, I'm the guy who's supposed to throw you out of here. And he said, but I'm not going to. Can I have a cigar?
You know, every afternoon, the bond close, we would all prepare for it. It's like, okay, you know, bond close is hitting. When you watch those guys coming off the floor, I mean, you could see their moods. You could tell good days, bad days, you got, you know, like life-changing days. We saw those days. But it was palpable. I mean, this was not like, you know, 5 o'clock and everybody punches out and walks out of the office.
Every time you make money trading, it's like applause, but only you hear it, because everybody else in that pit is rooting against you. You're competing next to folks for every single trade, and the fastest person, whoever says, buy them, whoever says that first gets the trade. And you know your neighbor sitting right here next to you needs them as bad as you need them. He needs to make his mortgage payment. He needs to put the kids through school, but you're going to bury him. You'll tear out his liver because you heard that broker say sold, and that guy is right there next to you. He needs them, and you just said, buy him. And he said, how many did I get? And you're like, none.
Good friend of mine said long ago, he said, if you want a friend, get a dog. You don't have friends in the pit.
Most of the people can set aside their differences outside of business. But sometimes when the almighty dollar gets involved, people don't care.
I've seen guys yell and scream and say nasty things, ungodly things. That's what helps them trade. Yeah, and they probably don't like you anyway. True, that's true. They probably truly don't like you. There's no doubt about that. You know, if they had a chance to, they would hit you if they could.
There will be fights in the pits. You know, no one's proud of that, but you will see people go at it.
There was a lot of fighting over who did the trade. Did you do it, or did the guy next to you trade with me? One guy thought that he made the market. Someone took his trade. Finally, the guy lost his cool, ran over, and bit the guy in the nose.
I was just under 6'3" and weighed 255 pounds, and I had little guys that would come up and berate me. Guys would literally look at you and say, "You're a fucking idiot. I can't believe you do that fucking trade." You'd look at them and go, "You got to be kidding me." First of all, it was a good trade. That's why you're mad. And second of all, shut up.
And I think the guys that want to strangle you after every trade, you kind of enjoy that. And you want to do that again and again, because that means you're doing something right.
That was the famous line on Chicago was, "You want to meet out by the horse," because we have this great big horse statue that sits out front, and that's where everybody would, if they would actually go down, they would have a group of hundreds following them.
I look at him, he looks at me, he goes, "Yeah, let's go fucking outside." So we're walking out, and the motherfucker turns around and cracks me right in the fucking face, hard. I go, "A real fucking fight, huh?" He swings at me again, and I duck, and his hand goes through the fucking window. And the blood is spurting out like a geyser. He goes, "Mike, take me to the hospital." I look at him, I go, "I think it's fucking too late." A lot of us have come from no education backgrounds, really, other than high school. You know, we all started trading young. Nobody knew anything. I made like $2.5 million in 5 days of trading. It's a pure business in theory, but you know, when there's so much money and things like that laying around, you know, you actually see what somebody's really like. And to go in there and try to be somewhat pure, and that's what I think I am. I'm a pure trader, but I love the trading, but I hate the people. These are fun. This thing's on rollers. So you know you're twisted when you do shit like this. You got problems. They're so big, you can't believe it till you come up to them and see how big an animal is. You know, they think, "Oh, it's a giraffe." Everything's dangerous in Africa. Everything. Because everything's used to being eaten. When I go there, there's always stories of somebody dying or getting murdered by some animal all the time. See, they give you a list of, they call it a menu. It's got animals on it, and next to it are price tags. So you look at something. It's like when you go out, you say, "Okay, there's $2,000, there's $1,000." As you shoot something, like we scope our rifles in on baboons because they're only $50. Lion hunt was a ripoff. It's like the fucker, they let the thing out of the fucking cage and I shot it. That's the feeling I had. Yeah, it wasn't right. Well, the rhino was the complete opposite. I always said it was the last time I was happy when I got charged by that rhino. Yeah, it's just not any fun unless you can die. But you need the heavy caliber for those big animals. Nitro Express. Oh, it's such a gas shooting this thing. Wesley Richards. Oh, fun. The beauty of hunting is that it doesn't involve the Merc. It doesn't involve my partners. It's just me and something that wants to get away from me. In this business, you have to be a street kid and a business person because there's too much money involved. 25 years of trading. It is really a living hell if you're not one of them. And I've never been one of them. The whole power of the 150 years of the futures industry in Chicago, which is where it started, has always been the broker. The broker is the one that has the orders that come in for all outside customers. If you're in with that guy, you can count on making a living every day of your life. It's a game. You know, it's who you know, who you grew up with, who you married, who's your friend, all that shit. I would have been way more successful, way more. I couldn't even tell you if I could bite my tongue and learn to play the game a little bit. Like dress like this every day when I'm in my 20s. Fuck. I was a fucked up little jagoff. Look at this, motherfuckers. beauty of trading when it's really going, it's a rhythm. You're just doing your thing. Problem is when it slows down sometimes, you start thinking why I should do this trade, why I should buy these, why I should sell that. And anytime anybody thinks, you're usually pretty fucked. I call the market a big whore. The market is a whore. It's out to fuck as many people as it can. That's its job.
It may not go against you fast at first, so you'll take a little heat, because it'll go against you a little bit, and then all of a sudden it goes a little more and a little more, and you kind of get like it feels like a hypnotism sort of thing, where you get caught in this downward spiral.